Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you from right here in Hollywood, California. I'm, of course, your host, John Campea. It's an honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you guys joining us, our international friends, as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies and movie news. And oh my God, Robert Meyer Burnett is here. Robert, if only we had some interesting things to talk about today.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at all my feeds and I thought there's really nothing to discuss, John.
No, nothing. We're just going to have to
let's just pack it
try
up.
to wing it, I guess. We're just going to have to try to make something out of nothing. And also joining us here today, of course, is the coffee-loving Ashley Whalen. How's your coffee today, Ashley?
You know, I don't want to talk about it, John. I bought a coffee, a little short from Starbucks, got in my car, took a left, and the entire thing just dumped on my lap. And I was like, it's going to be that type of day, isn't it? So.
Aren't you glad I said so? Because I'm driving into the studio this morning, and I get this text as I'm driving in. It's Ashley being so nice. Hey, John, I'm at Starbucks. You want anything from Starbucks? You better be glad I didn't ask for like some large latte with a double coffee all over you.
Exactly.
All right, guys, listen, we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about here today. But before we get into our main topics, a little thing off the top. You know, Robert, 2019 was already looking like it was going to be the year of Stephen King stuff. I mean, we've got Pet Sematary coming, which I didn't even like the idea. And then I saw the trailer. I'm like, boom, I'm in. We got It Chapter 2 coming, which we're all excited about. And now we've got a third one coming. Dr. Sleep, which is the pseudo-sequel to The Shining. It's going to be starring Ewan McGregor and, girl from Dune who's playing Timothy's mom. Rebecca Ferguson is starring in it as well. It's supposed to come out in 2020. Well, it's been announced today. They've moved it up, and it is now going to be releasing in November of this year, 2019. We've got 3 Stephen King movies hitting the theaters right now. And I'll tell you what, obviously, Rebecca Ferguson's in it, excited. Loved the casting of Ewan McGregor when we first talked about that for sure. But there's just something real sweet about it being moved in, and now we got these all 3 Stephen King movies completely looking forward to. First of all, you looking forward to this Dr. Sleep one? What are your thoughts on it? And what do you think about them moving into 2019?
Well, first of all, I'm an enormous Stephen King fan. I have been all the way back since I was a kid.
You got all the books.
And I get every book in hardcover, huge Stephen King fan. I like Dr. Sleep. I think I liked it more than some. And I think it's great that they moved it up. I mean, it's great. But the other news that dropped yesterday is they're adapting The Stand.
Yeah,
which is my favorite book of all time, of Stephen King's, but one of my favorite books of all time. But they're doing it as a TV miniseries again.
Yeah.
One of my favorite games to play in the world, I play with my friends Gary and Edmund Enton, the filmmakers, is Cast the Stand. Whenever we get together and drink, or whenever the parents come into town, we go to the smokehouse to have dinner. And
I love the smokehouse.
It's great. We go there for dinner, and half the dinner is taken up by our game Cast the Stand that we've been playing, where we pick who would play the main characters in The Stand. And we all love, even though it's cheesy, the 90s miniseries that Mick Garris directed. But now we can't play it anymore because now they're going to get TV actors. They're not going to get, like, Matthew McConaughey to play Randolph Flagg.
Dude, it's a different era today.
I know, but it's CBS All Access. They're doing it because they don't get enough Star Trek subscribers, so they got to, do something like this. I'm rather upset. But Dr. Sleep, I think bringing it into 2019 is pretty cool. I mean, I want to see it. And, any literary adaptation of his work, I get excited about. And look, some of it's been great. Like Carrie was great, Shawshank Redemption was great, Christine's pretty good, Apt Pupil's pretty good, but a lot of them not so good.
Yeah, but they've been crushing. I mean, look, It was fabulous.
Yeah,
the new It was fabulous. Their incarnation of Pet Sematary looks great. And quick side note, by the way, folks, if you're ever visiting LA, you do have to come in to Burbank and visit this restaurant called the Smokehouse.
Yes.
Ann and I go there frequently. The guy loved it so much. The Clooney.
George Clooney.
George Clooney became one of the owners because he loved the place so much.
His company is called Smokehouse Entertainment.
He named the company Smokehouse Entertainment. And when you go in there, if you recognize the place, it's because it's been in about 500 different movies. One of the most notable recently, it was the place where Ryan Gosling walked in and met Emma Stone character in La La Land, and they shoot a hell of a lot of stuff there. So if you ever, and the food, by the way, is great. I am not being paid by Smokehouse.
Cheese bread.
But you guys, their cheese bread's amazing. Anyway, Smokehouse, give me a little something for that. Give me one free meal for that, because that is pretty awesome. All right, with that's out of the way, let's move on to our main topics today. And it is crazy because like any one of 4 topics today could have been our lead topic. So whatever. Let's go to our main topics today. How do we select our main topics around here? Well, it's really rather simple. You guys pick them by emailing me your topics and questions anytime to john@thejohncampeashow.com. That's john@thejohncampeashow.com. Make sure you put the word topic in the subject line. And as always, for the love of God, guys, please make sure you put the word topic in the subject line and keep those emails to 90 words or less. I love reading your thesis, but come on, keep it shorter. With that, Ashley, what's up first?
All right. First email for the day is from Patreon supporter Jeff Bingham. He says, when Hobbs and Shaw was announced, I took it as a sign that Dwayne Johnson would not appear in Fast and the Furious 9, and now he just confirmed it, but he did leave the door open to returning for Fast and the Furious 10. Do you think he will, or will Hobbs now be in separate installments? I hope he returns because I like the entire team together and I dislike the feuds going on.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the email. And thanks a lot, Jeff, for being a Patreon supporter. Yeah, so just to put it in context, The Rock did come out and confirm he's not going to be in Fast 9, which is what we suspected. But just so we're on the same playing field, here's exactly what Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wrote. He wrote, the plan has always been for the Fast and Furious universe to grow and expand. As of now, we're not in Fast 9. He's talking about him and Jason Statham because they're getting ready to start shooting, but who knows? With Fast 10 and down the road, you never know because look at the end of the day. The truth is there's unfinished business between Hobbs and Dom. It's unfinished. Not only is there unfinished business between Hobbs and Dom, there's unfinished business between Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel. I remember, Robert, when they started talking about, oh, there's this feuding between, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Vin Diesel. I thought it was all publicity. I 100% thought it was, and it turned out, no, there's actually, and in Fast 8, they were never on set together. They could never be on set at the same time. They exchanged words with each other, and apparently that's all gone very nasty. And then, of course, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's had ongoing other drama with like Tyrese causing drama and all this kind of nonsense. So there's a little bit of separation there. So we're not going to see him in 9. Will that hurt 9? Maybe. Could he be in 10? Maybe. But will there be any effect? I want to draw our attention to something because this really, we all know this theoretically, but let's put this into real tangible terms about the effect that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has had on this Fast and the Furious franchise. Let's look at all the films. First of all, we got 4 Fast and Furious franchise that were without Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Those movies, in order, worldwide made Fast and Furious 1, $207 million. Fast and Furious 2, $236. Fast and the Furious 3 took a nosedive because some loser character named Han was in it, made $158 million. Fast and Furious 4 made a bit of a rebound at $363. So that's what we got, an average of about $250 million per film without Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, franchise Viagra, comes into the picture, and out of the gate, boom, Fast and Furious 5 almost makes as much as all the previous 4 films put together, and it only went up from there. Fast 5 made $626 million. Fast 6 made $788 million. Fast 7 made $1.5 billion, and then Fast 8 also joining the $1 billion club at 1.28. Now let's keep this graphic up here for a second. In general, does Universal want Fast 9 to not have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? Absolutely not. Will there be an impact on the box office without Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? Numbers don't lie. Yes, there will be an impact, but don't get me wrong. I don't think for a second that Fast 9 is all of a sudden going to drop down to pre-The Rock numbers. I don't think Fast 9 is going to make $340 million. It's going to make a big amount of money. But will it make as much money without The Rock? The numbers say no. And so I think they're going to try to really find a way to make sure they can get everybody. If Fast 10 is indeed the final Fast and Furious movie, I think they're going to work very hard over the next year to try to work out something between Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel. 2 guys I really like, so it bothers me that these 2 don't get along because I love these guys. They're going to try to figure out a way to make that work because they're going to want to have everybody there for 10, and that includes the guy who turned the ship around, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Rob, you look at these numbers, you look at this, how significant or important is it for Dwayne to come back, or do you think, no, with these spin-offs and everything, this can all be smooth sailing regardless?
I just want to point out Fast 7, $1.5 billion, the highest grossing of the franchise, began with Han's funeral. That's how much people cared.
Needed to come out.
That's
to
how much
warn
people
Han.
cared. And I just want to say, Jeff, who asked this question, talks about how he wants the whole team together. Apparently, the whole team sans one person. Han is not in your team.
Well, Well, that's
what he's saying.
That's because nobody wanted him.
You know what? They could just make another prequel. Han died in 3, but he came back in 4, 5, and 6. There's a way it can be done. But no, I think, look, Fast 5 to me is one of the great franchise reinventions in history. And that's when they brought his character in. That movie, as far as the Fast and Furious films can go, that's the Citizen Kane of Fast and Furious movies. And his character was a great addition to the franchise. First, he started out as an antagonist, and he's become sort of a frenemy, which is great. But his addition to that franchise was they always filmed him sweating. You know, he was so jacked. And he's sweating all the time, and he was just such a great presence in that film that it really, and the film, the franchise became a different franchise. It became this international heist movie with this incredibly, although physics don't make much sense, but there's an incredible car chase at the end of that movie where they rip off a bank vault and it's swinging.
That was just nutty.
It's the greatest thing ever, and I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Mr. Johnson, has brought so much to this franchise, but I think the where the loggerheads came from is he is a consummate professional. That guy doesn't mess around.
Yeah.
And you're on set from the first moment you roll camera to the end of the day. There's no shenanigans with him. And I think he doesn't like shenanigans. He's a businessman. He's there to work hard. And when other people don't step up to the plate the way he does, he gets angry.
Yeah, and sometimes maybe he should, sometimes maybe he shouldn't. I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't take a side in the Vin Diesel Rock thing because I don't know them. I've met them, but I don't know them personally, and I don't know the dynamic that was on set. I just, as a fan, Robert, as a fan of both of these guys, I just want them to work it out because, like those numbers that we pulled up kind of show, this franchise will work best when they're both in it. By the way, that we were joking about the Han thing with Fast and Furious 3.
I'm not joking.
Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift had no Vin Diesel. I mean, other than the very, very end, right? So, I mean, you need to have these two guys there. If you want to hit your optimal peak, you got to have both of these guys in there. So I hope they can get it worked out for Fast and Furious 10. All right, with that down, let's move on to the next email. What's next?
Okay, great. The next one is from Rafael Estrada. Hey, John, greetings. So it looks like that's it. We finally have confirmation that Ben Affleck is leaving the role of Batman.
What? If only somebody had said that before. Anyway,
Who
go
did,
ahead.
John? Who said that before?
I don't know. Some wise man.
Maybe back in 2017, perhaps?
Perhaps, yeah.
On this show, even.
On one of my shows. Sorry about that, Ashley. Please continue.
You guys can, yeah. After Deadline shared this exclusive article saying that Ben is passing the torch to the next generation of Bruce Wayne, Affleck took to Twitter to wish the best for Matt Reeves and the new take on Batman. Another major detail shared was the release date of June 25th, 2021 for the movie. So, after many years, what do you make of this? Are things finally moving forward this time? What do you think, guys?
Well, I mean, under the category of water wet, we have all known forever that Ben Affleck was not going to be Batman anymore. And by the way, I still think something, but I'll get to that something in just a minute. We've all known this forever. Warner Brothers has known this forever. Ben Affleck has known this forever, but they've continued to play a PR game, and they finally decided to drop it. This is what politics does all the time. They hold on to the bad news until we got something other interesting that can distract. Right. So here's basically the Warner Brothers White House press conference. Okay, so today Ben Affleck is not going to be Batman anymore, but we got a release date for the new Batman. Everybody, wait, what was that thing about Ben Affleck? No, look, June 25th, 2021. Everybody, new Batman. That's what they did, and that's why they're releasing it now when they can kind of roll it into something else and distract away from this thing. But I mean, the reality is Warner Brothers actually handled all this pretty smart. They just waited and sat on it while it all just became common knowledge. Everybody just knew it anyway. And then they could finally, when it would be coming next, because you would think a year ago that if Warner Brothers is going to let it be known that Ben Affleck is no longer Batman, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
They sat on it and sat on it and sat on it and pretended like nothing was happening and pretended like nothing was happening for almost 2 years until it just became such common knowledge that when they do drop it, it's as a side note in the release date announcement, right? And I got to say, you may like or not like the way they handled it. It was actually rather brilliant the way they managed it. It may have been sneaky, may have been a little underhanded. That whole BS thing at Comic-Con a year and a half ago when they got Ben Affleck on stage showing, no, I'm going to be Batman forever. I'll crawl on all fours like an ape for Matt Reeves. Woo, I can't wait to be Batman, everybody. That was all BS. We told you from the start that was all BS. But they have conducted it. They have actually managed it perfectly. And now we've got a thing where a lot of people are overlooking the fact that he's not going to be Batman anymore because we've got a release date and we're all looking forward to Matt Reeves doing that. Okay.
And they're also in the wake of Aquaman, which is a huge success. And remember, a lot of this is about their shareholders.
Yes.
It's not, I mean, we think it's about us because we're the audience, but really it's about a business. Now they have what the shareholders know because they're not fans. They don't care about who's going to play Batman. They just want a Batman movie coming out. Now they have a release date. They've told their shareholders a lot of information that we'll talk about that's good for them.
And that's where they tuck in, as a side note, Ben Affleck's not Batman anymore. And just for you wondering, what happened is Deadline put out the story, Batman moving forward without Ben Affleck, blah, blah, blah. And Ben Affleck himself actually got on Twitter and basically confirmed it because Ben Affleck tweeted out, quoting the Deadline report there, and Ben Affleck tweeted, excited for the Batman in summer 2021, and I look forward to seeing Matt Reeves' vision come to life. So basically there it is. He's confirmed it. Now let me be the little bit of a shit disturber here.
You?
No. I'm just going to throw this out there. There is still... Do you notice Ben said, I will never be at Batman again? I have said from day one that, remember, Ben Affleck, by the way, February 2017, I was the first guy to tell you that Ben Affleck was done as Batman. But from that time, I remind everybody, there is still one film left on his contract. He doesn't want to do it. Warner Brothers in a position that they may decide to exercise that right. They may not. That one film is still there. I mean, okay, he's not Batman in the upcoming Batman movie. We've known that forever. But that doesn't mean, theoretically speaking, that if Warner Brothers wanted to use him as a cameo appearance in, I don't know, Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn who's got a necklace on that says Bruce on it. Nothing says that they couldn't put him in there for his one last time. Like, I'm not saying Ben is going to be isn't going to appear as Batman again. I'm not saying he is going to, but I'm just saying, remember, there is still that one film left that could be exercised if they wanted to.
By the way, who's to say he's going to play Batman at all? He plays Bruce Wayne. He puts on a suit, puts on a tux, shows up in a cameo role. I'm sure he would have no problem doing that. I mean, think about Ben Affleck's pushing 50. Who wants to do that kind of working out? And
Sylvester Stallone.
Well, Sylvester Stallone does, but he's been doing it his whole career is used to that. But come on. I mean, it gets to a point where and I love the fact that they're going younger. They're going to do it, and they're going to Nolan it up. They're going to make a trilogy of movies about a young Batman, probably in his formative years, doing a different Batman than we saw from Christian Bale's Batman. I'm excited about this because you get rid of the baggage of all of what was going on, and you get to see a new, fresh take on the Batman from scratch. And they can do everything can be new, and it's not if it's a young Batman and he's 20 years younger than the Batman of Justice League, and you recast the Justice League Batman too. You can bring back an older person playing Batman, and no one's going to care because you've got a new trilogy, just like the Nolan trilogy.
By the way, should be pointing out here, while Deadline is saying they're going for a younger Batman, there's nothing anywhere saying that this movie will not be set in present time.
Right, that's true.
I mean, because we're going to talk about Suicide Squad here in a second, but just take that Suicide Squad information, all right? We're going to call back to that in just a second. There is nothing to say. Warner Brothers is kind of reworking their entire universe. There's nothing to say here, and I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I'm just saying there's nothing to say here that they're not just going to have a younger Batman and a different Batman and just pretend like that's what it is. We have seen studios do that before with franchises. And it wouldn't be completely out in left field to see that happen here. Look, I think this sucks on many different levels. Me and John Schnepp were the first guys to get online when they announced Ben Affleck. This is back in 2013. The day they announced Ben Affleck as Batman, John Schnepp and I, 10 minutes later, were online doing a video about why this was bloody brilliant. As the world laughed as the world laughed at Warner Brothers for casting Ben Affleck, me and Schnepp were on there saying, this is bloody brilliant. He is going to be a great Batman, and he was a great Batman. I was dying to see him direct. One of the best directors in the business right now. I was looking forward to seeing him direct a Batman. But you know what? If he's not, that sucks that he's not. If you got to get somebody else, Matt Reeves is a pretty damn good guy to go in there and do it. I am excited to see what he does with this film. We've got a release date, sort of. Well, we'll see if they hit it. Now, here's something not to forget, too. The original plan when they hired Matt Reeves was to have a 2018 or 2019 release. That was the plan. As a matter of fact, they went out and got the Batman Lego movie director to do Nightwing, because the Batman movies are going to come out and then they were going to do Nightwing. But the Batman movie kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. And meanwhile, the director is sitting there of the Nightwing movie, sitting there going like, I'm turning down these other movies. Can we get started on Nightwing?
Right.
They're like, nope, not yet. And eventually he had to split the project. Not to say he can't eventually come back and do it again later. But this thing has been delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed. And maybe they will hit June 20. I'm thinking they will. They've waited a couple years. But interesting note, from when I believe, from the day they announced Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan doing Batman, I believe it was just over 2 years from when they announced that to when the movie hit theaters. When this thing comes out, if it does come out in June of 2021, it will be 4.5 years from when they announced Matt Reeves directing it. So can we not delay it anymore? Can we please just get it at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, but seriously, Rob, I think they will hit this date. I think they will hit June 2021. What do you think?
Well, look, they made a splash in announcing this. They made a number of announcements. And Warner Brothers, look, is on a roll. And as I said, it's all about shareholders. It's all about that cheddar that they're expecting the studio to generate. And coming off, in the wake of Aquaman, they've got $1 billion. They've got Harley Quinn coming out. They've announced that. We've got these announcements very quickly in the last couple weeks. Harley Quinn, now the Suicide Squad news, this Batman news. And we've got Shazam coming out. We got Wonder Woman 84 coming out. Patty Jenkins is talking about Wonder Woman 3 being contemporary.
Dude, how are you leaving out Super Pets?
What?
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, but that was interesting too. They announced that as well. So they're going great guns into the DC universe, and I don't think that they're holding anything back. And they're not gonna. These are not release dates that are not going to be hit. They're going to hit these release dates, and they're going to start. I think they're going to start hitting it also out of the park.
Still no Cyborg, still no Flash, despite the fact they've had 18 different directors on that movie. All right, let's move on.
That was a good tune you just came up with.
You like that? Should I sample that, get a loop going?
I like that one. That's good.
All right, what's next?
Next one is from Derek Lewis. So the reports are now saying that Suicide Squad 2 not only has a release date, but that it seems James Gunn is going to be directing it. The other thing it said was that it's pretty much going to be a reboot with a new cast and a group of characters. So does that confirm that the Joker and Harley Quinn won't be a part of the new Suicide Squad?
Yeah, there's so much fascinating about this story. It's hard to know where to start. First of all, James Gunn. Look, when they said they were bringing him on to write Suicide Squad 2, we all kind of knew, well, it's only a matter of time before they say James Gunn is directing this thing. Now it's being reported by the major trades like, yeah, he's directing it, which I think is fabulous.
Me too.
I think is great. Like when he first departed Disney, I kind of visioned him doing a Flash movie. I could totally see him doing a Flash movie. But then when they said Suicide Squad, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a great fit. Him doing Suicide Squad is great. So I'm super happy about that. And by the way, a lot of other Disney guys are coming out and supporting James in this, which has been, we know that Scott Derrickson, the director of the Doctor Strange movies, actually put out a tweet this morning basically saying, I'm still really sad that James Gunn was separated from his children, the Guardians of the Galaxy. But man, if this is true, talking about the Suicide Squad thing, can't wait to see what he does with that. Like, so everybody who worked with him over at Disney, other than maybe, Alan Horn, is still super supportive and stoked about this guy doing that. But in the story was something very interesting. Here's what I believe was the Hollywood Reporter, what they had to write about this. The pick, talking about the next Suicide Squad, has the title of the Suicide Squad and is not being labeled a direct sequel, but a relaunch. Sources say that Gunn's focus is to take the franchise in a new direction with a mostly all-new cast of characters and actors. Sources also say that the project is also very much rooted in Gunn's vibe, as seen in the Guardians movie. I just want to go back up to that first line. The pick is the title of The Suicide Squad. Not Batman, The Batman. Not Suicide Squad 2. It's The Suicide Squad kind of being relaunched. So there's a whole bunch in there to unpack, Robert, because as we just went back, remember I told you a little minute ago, let's take a piece of, keep Suicide Squad in mind for a little bit later. If they're kind of reduxing Suicide Squad to whatever degree, and all these announcements have been coming out from Warner Brothers executives saying we are no longer focusing on shared cinematic universe. I mean, it just leads me to believe even more or give a little bit more credence to the idea that this new Batman doesn't have to take place in the past. It's just that, no, forget what you thought about Batman. Batman is today, 2019, and he's 25 years old, and that's what Batman has always been. And will they take the same approach with Suicide Squad 2? A lot here to unpack. So, Robert, let's go over to you on this. Number one, James Gunn directing a Suicide Squad. Number two, the whole notion about it kind of being a relaunch, if you will, of the property. What's your reaction to that?
Well, look, it's not like Warner Brothers doesn't have a history in doing this. I mean, look at the Batman films starting with Tim Burton. You know, you had Michael Keaton playing him, then you had Val Kilmer playing him, then you had George Clooney playing him in the space of basically a decade. Yeah. You know, and you had three different Batmen, two different directors.
They couldn't keep their Batman, but they kept their Alfred.
Well, yeah, they kept
that, Alfred.
I mean, so this mixing and matching. Again, if the film has a great script and it's good, James Gunn has a lot of goodwill in Hollywood. He can cast it with probably just about anybody he wants is going to come. And make no mistake, he already knows. Whatever's going to happen with this movie, they already know. Yeah. Like it's something that's been by the time you announce something, that means the contracts have already been signed. You know, it's not like he's about to sign. No. They don't release this information because if they do release this information and he hasn't signed, then they use it as a bargaining chip. You know, his people can. All of this has been decided.
This has been done for at least 2 months. I think this has been done for months.
They know what's going on, and I think that it's a huge. I think James Gunn, if you look at his earlier work, like even going back to Troma, he's going to make Suicide Squad. It's going to be edgy. It's going to be dark. It's going to be R-rated. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Because why if you're hiring James Gunn, let James be James. Let him do what he did with Guardians. I mean, his Guardians movies made $1.5 billion plus for Disney. That's what Warner Brothers wants, and they're going to let James Gunn do it. And it's going to be great. I can't wait.
But you know, the email brings up an interesting question. Do you think we're going to see Harley Quinn in it? And you know what? If you had asked me this a while ago, I would have said, well, of course, Harley Quinn was probably the most popular thing about the movie. You're going to have Harley Quinn. But now with all the changes that we're seeing, with the fact that Harley's pretty much got her own movie. I know it's called Birds of Prey, but the subtitle is Harley Quinn is in there. With all that, I'll tell you what, I'm starting to think we're not going to have Margot Robbie in the new Suicide Squad. What do you think?
I think if James Gunn's doing it, he's going to write his characters the way he wants to write his characters. And he's not, I would assume that he's not going to bring Harley Quinn back because the first Suicide Squad catapulted her into a starring role to be at the forefront of a film. And I think James is going to create his own characters. I mean, he's going to go into the DC pantheon, if not create his own characters and bring us new people.
I'm going to tell you what, I believe he's going to bring us a lot of very obscure, deep cut DC, you know, the pantheon of DC characters. He's going to go deep cut and bring us a lot of really cool stuff, I think.
And starting with John Ostrander's run on Suicide Squad that started in the 80s, there's a lot of characters he can get into. I mean, the Suicide Squad has had different incarnations over the last 35 years, and I'm excited. I think this is going to be really, really cool. And it's great for him. Again, it's great for us, the audience, because we're going to get something cool.
And by the way, the movie's going to come out 2 months after the new Batman, if the new Batman actually hits its release date. So from when they announce James Gunn being the director, 2 years till the movie comes out. Just gonna say that. Just gonna be a part of that there.
How cool is what if they tied it in? What if they said the new Batman movie has a lot of villains in it? What if Batman puts away somebody, you know, early on in the film? Like it's a teaser sequence, and then James Gunn takes that person out of jail.
Or are they gonna keep them completely separated from each other? Because remember, one of the things that Matt Reeves said the other day was, I have not discussed my movie with any of the other DC directors.
Right.
And none of the DC directors have talked with me. So So I don't know how much intertangling there's going to be. I think they're going to go kind of standalone on this. But again, June 2020. Listen, 2021 is shaping up to be the year of DC, because you got Batman in June, you got Suicide Squad in 2021 in August, and there's a third DC property coming out in 2021 as well. It has a little something to do with our next email. Ashley, what is that next email?
So many questions, but it's also exciting. Dominic, hi, John. I thought for sure this was a joke, but it looks like it's real. DC is putting out a Super Pets movie, WTF. We can't get a Superman movie, but we're getting a Super Pets movie. Please tell me this is some kind of misdirect from the studio, because they can't be this dumb, can they?
I'll tell you what, dumb as a fox. This could actually be really smart. You know, this is going to kind of go back to something you were talking about the other day about, you know, there's a possibility that maybe a Batman Beyond animated film gets made.
Right.
And you made the very astute observation that if it does, it's all because of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. With Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, yeah, they're looking at doing this, absolutely. And look, a couple of things. It's going to be animated. So it's not like it's a part of the DCEU. It's going to be animated. Now, there have been, it's like, is this even a real thing? Yes. There was a League of Super Pets that included Bat Cow. No, I'm not kidding. There was Super Horse. There was obviously Crypto. There was Super Monkey.
The Wonder Twins had Gleek.
The Wonder Twins had Gleek. That's
Gleek.
right. Now, so from what I'm hearing, the Super Pets is going to focus on 3. There are going to be 3 of the pets that this movie focuses on. Obviously, you can't do one of these without Crypto. So
Right.
Crypto, Superman's faithful dog, is going to be in there. Also, Ace the Bat Hound. Ace the Bat Hound is going to be one of them. And, of course, Streaky, Supergirl's pet cat. So apparently that's who's going to focus on. Look, I'll tell you what, as an animated film, in a world where Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was one of the best films of the year, and it's clearly not going to be connected to the rest of the DCU, why not? I mean, seriously, why not? This could be cute. This could be clever. It could be a train wreck, sure, but this could be clever and this could be cute. I'd say take a shot at it. Why not?
I just don't understand. Like, we'll watch Finding Nemo.
Yeah, a movie about a fish.
Which is a
looking
movie
for
about,
sun.
a fish and all the fish that he meets in the sea. Why not a Super Pets movie? Super Pets that interact with all the other pets in the world somehow. I mean, I think it's so funny that somebody would come out and go, no, this is a terrible idea. Why? Why is it a terrible idea?
I mean, look, I'll admit my first reaction. I will admit my first reaction when I read that, I'm like, that's a joke. And then you read, I can understand a little bit of hesitation when you first read that. I mean, when we're talking about Matt Reeves' Batman, a crime noir detective story and blah, blah, and then Super Horse and Bat Hound. I mean...
I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, look, see?
Sorry, I just don't. I have no interest. I mean, I loved Into the Spider-Verse, but I will say my least favorite part was the pig cartoon. I was like, yeah, I could have like...
You didn't like Peter Porker,
I'm
the
sorry,
Amazing Spider-Man?
I loved the noir character. And everybody else, but I just totally, I was like, this pig can go. Like, I don't even,
No,
he didn't
look,
add anything for me.
I get that.
Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong, but the fact that you can put that Peter Porker, the spectacular Spider-Ham,
Yeah.
if you can bring that character into a movie at all, I mean, he's a ridiculous character, not my first choice.
No.
But if you live in a world where that can be done, they can do anything.
I'll tell you what, too.
And by the way, somebody's already written a script for this, because if they've announced it,
Oh,
they
yeah.
already know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
So
Probably spec. But I'll tell you what, seeing the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse trailer, the first time I watched it, and I'm sitting there watching it with Ann, and it's like, yeah, this could be all right. And as soon as Spider-Ham showed up, Fandango, where do I get my tickets? Where do I get, and she was just down with getting my tickets.
Interesting.
So the question, though, Robert, is, can you float through the air when you smell a delicious pie? That's the superpower we all want to see. Anyway, that thing is going to be coming out on May 21st, 2021. So I'm telling you, if this is any good, and I'm not saying it will be, I'm not saying it won't, but if this is any good, we really could be looking at the year of DC. We could be looking at the year of DC. So let's just keep our eyes on that, and let's find out if Matt Reeves' Batman will actually come out on June of 2021. All right, last email of the day.
All right, last one is from Arshad Dalin. Greetings to John, Rob, and Ashley. Just looked at How to Train Your Dragon 3 and was gobsmacked to see it has a 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes. With the previous success of the first 2 films and with this primed to follow suit, surely it's up there with the best trilogies ever, right? Filthy regards, Ashrad, subscriber from Sri Lanka.
Ooh, well, thank you, international friend, for that. Yeah, as of right now, How to Train Your Dragon 3 is currently holding a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I do not expect that it will hold 100%. Because all it takes is one critic to not like the film.
Right.
And all film is subjective. Somebody's probably, but who knows? Paddington 2 still has 100%. So whatever, what do we know? But I don't suspect it'll hold 100%. Now, I'm going to go see How to Train Your Dragon on Saturday. I'm going to go see it because I'm going to go see, and you're going to come with me. We're going to go watch Lego Movie Saturday morning. Then I'm going to leave that screening and go watch How to Train Your Dragon 3. And I'm very excited. I love the first 2 How to Train Your Dragon movies. I love it.
I love my 3D Blu-ray.
But I don't know. I think I got to see this movie first because, I've been saying you make a Paddington 3 as good as the other 2. I'm saying it's in the conversation, at least for one of the best trilogies of films. Why not? I don't know. How to Train Your Dragon doesn't jump at me that way, but I got to see the third one first because I will tell you that the first 2 floored me. I didn't even think the first one looked any good, but the dynamic and the chemistry, that movie was about a father and a son, really, when you get down to it. Gerard Butler's character and Steve, how do you pronounce, Bichelle or, how do you pronounce his name? I can't remember.
Yeah,
anyway,
I don't want to be the one to
mispronounce
mispronounce
the lead
it.
character, but their dynamic is father and son. That was really the heart of the movie. It's one of the reasons why I like the first Thor movie so much.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, automatically it's in there. It's in the conversation with Toy Stories, and it's in the conversation for best animated films, maybe, or stuff like that. All I know is I'm really excited to see this because I've loved the other ones. What do you make of this?
Well, no, I think it's going to be. Look, the other 2 movies are great, but as far as best trilogies, my way of thinking, and me and my friends have said this for years, with animated films not being real because they're animated, you got to go to movies like Lord of the Rings because Lord of the Rings is real, if that makes any sense. Because animated films,
it's live action.
Well, one's real and one's animated, John.
I got something harsh to break to you. Neither of them are real. Anyway.
Come on, man.
It's
not animated. It's not real.
Hey, I don't care, man. I've always said this, and I stick by
animated.
it. The best movie, a good movie's a good movie. I don't care what medium it's in. I don't care if you use, Ben Wyatt's claymation. I don't care if you use,
I understood that reference.
A fabulous movie about this John Campea bobblehead. I don't care if you make, Lord of the Rings. I don't care if you make Casablanca. A good movie's a good movie.
It's true,
regardless of the thing. But you're right. Our natural inclination, our knee-jerk reaction, our reflex response is, oh, it's animated, so we don't really give it much consideration. But I think as the audience has gotten more, I guess, sophisticated, I feel like that kind of an attitude has been changing over the years.
Look, I agree, and if a great entertainment. I was just being.
Of course you were, yeah.
But great entertainment, like you said, is great entertainment. It's just as hard to make a great animated film as it is to make a great live action film. It's a different skill set, but it is still storytelling, and I think that this trilogy, like the Toy Story trilogy, these are phenomenal. The fact that you can have 3 movies that are this phenomenal in terms of that kind of entertainment. I mean, Tom Hanks just tweeted himself doing Woody's last line in Toy Story 4.
I saw that picture. I may or may not have had tears welling up in my eyes.
I know, right? I'm like,
that was pretty emotional.
Man. That's real. Those were real. My feels were real when I saw that picture.
All right, guys, listen, that'll do it for all of our main topics today. But as we like to do around the John Campea Show, since we do this show live, let's take some live questions. A bunch of you guys have been firing a bunch of live questions already. So, Ashley, what is lined up for us?
First super chat is from Brian Esparza. Miss Bala, still no reviews, and it releases tonight.
I don't know that either of that is true. Hold on a second.
So I saw someone review it today, but I didn't read the review.
Okay, so I believe the reviews are out. There is a Rotten Tomatoes meter for it. It's sitting at 25%. Now, I thought, I'm going to double check this right now. I thought it came out on, no, it opens tomorrow. That's official date is tomorrow. I thought, for some reason, I thought it was the 14th. I thought it came out at the same time as Alita. So, no, that is never a good sign, my friend. You're absolutely right. That is not a good sign. And apparently, with the 25%, I got to tell you what, I like the trailer.
I did too.
And I think Gina Rodriguez is fantastic. I love her.
Me too.
Great.
Yeah, but doesn't look so good apparently. All right, what's next?
Give Luigi a ring. Hey guys, sad that the Batfleck is no more. He could have been great given the chance. I'd like John Hamm, but he may be too old for the Reeves movie.
Oh yeah, a lot of people think John Hamm. Look, a lot of people think John Hamm would have been a great Superman, and he would. Look, A great actor is a great actor. Put him in any role. Could he have been a great Bruce Wayne? Yes. Could he have been a great Superman? Yes. But your assessment is absolutely right. They're going younger. I can't see them putting him in at this point.
No. They need somebody. Look, they need somebody that can be in a movie for 3 movies. They think of these as trilogies, and it's rough to stay in that kind of shape. I mean, Hugh Jackman, to be Wolverine almost 20 years, man, that is a rough. And he was the best he's ever looked in Logan.
Oh,
How long did that take?
His physique just got better and better every year. Like the older he got, the better the physique he got. It was kind of nuts.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
I heard Christian Bale has never even seen or talked to a nutritionist, and he's one of the most, transformed people of all time.
But he did finally, because he got himself in a ridiculous, very round shape for Vice.
Yeah.
But he said he's officially, he's come out and said he's done with that. He's never going to do that because that has got to take your toll.
Vice? I mean,
from machinist, that's got to take a toll on your body. All right, what's next?
Force Ghost Han Solo. Hi, John and Rob. I wanted to thank Rob for showing me loyalty and compassion not many do. Keep fighting and justice for me.
Justice.
I love it. I'm going to clap for him. I'm clapping for Force Ghost Han Solo.
I know
you're the man, Force Ghost. Well, you're not the man. You're a ghost. But hey, thank you for that.
I knew you'd be excited about that one. Okay, what's next?
Give Luigi a ring. Chewie gets his buddy a drink. Ice and lemon? No, just ice for Han.
Is that a reference to Han Solo?
I think he's being cheeky.
Yes, if he's being cheeky, I like it. All right, what's next?
Shaw. If Han ever got a Funko Pop, it would be of me running him off the road.
I would love. Okay, first of all, I got this great Funko Pop right here that I completely love and adore. My wife bought this for me. It's one of my favorite scenes in the MCU, the Hulk smashing Loki. If you did this one, but right here is Shaw walking this way, and here's an upside down car with Han with like little X's on his eyes, that would be I would buy that hot toy. I would buy it for you, Rob. I would buy it for you as a gift.
What's with all these people and they want to see these characters die? Great characters die.
All right, what's next?
Why does Han always have to die in a movie?
That's true, yeah. It seems to be a running thing.
All right, Tanmaya Agarwal. W. Hamada has changed DC to such a right direction.
It feels like it. Look, I am very much on the Walter Hamada train. It feels like he's got things going in the right way. But even I will say it's a little too early to call it the new direction of Total Win. But clearly, he's got a vision. They're going to be doing things very differently than the way they've done it before. And they're certainly off to a good start. But I'm not going to wave the victory flag just yet. Let's see how Shazam does. Let's see how but it feels like he's got a real solid plan. And he's not a reactionary. If they hit a bump in the road, he's not all of a sudden going to go, whoa, let's rethink everything. No. If they hit a bump in the road, they're going to keep moving forward with their plan. And that's a real welcome change from the way Warner Brothers has handled DC in the past. All right, what's next?
B Gaming. Will Chris Stuckman ever be a guest on your show?
Probably not. I mean, I've known Chris. I've had lunch with Chris. I've had Chris on my panels at Comic-Con, but Chris lives on the other side of the country. So, no, most likely not. All right, what's next?
Ben Rainier. We've all known about Affleck for about a year, but it is nice to know it's official. Let the speculation monster begin of who is the next Batman.
Technically speaking, we've known for 2 years. It was February 2017 that I told everybody he was done. Yeah, that's now going to become the big thing. Who's the next? And I'll tell you what, they already cast him. He's already cast. I 100% because remember when they announced Ben Affleck as Batman, it came out later. He was actually signed the deal like 4 months before they announced. Ben Affleck has been gone from Batman for almost 2 years, and they're just letting us know now, like officially at any rate. I believe they've already signed their new Batman.
I think you're right. And it's interesting because the wording, like you said, they didn't get into specifics. They didn't say a new search is underway in the press release for the next Batman. They didn't say that. I think you're right. I think he's already signed.
I think it's done.
Because if the movie comes out, what's the date? It's July?
June
Okay,
2021.
June 2021. Okay, that gives them they're a little over 2 years. I mean, they shoot the movie, they get pre-production. You get your actor. The actors' schedules are kind of already blocked out and booked for a year or two in advance. And an actor's got to get in shape.
Yeah.
And an actor's to get in Batman shape, you're looking at 4 to 6 months.
What if they announced Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Batman? They're not. There's no scoop here. There's no scoop here.
No, but whoever's Batman, you're right, because they'll go into pre-production, he'll go into training, and the movie will go into production probably summer.
Yeah.
This summer.
Which means they've already got their guy.
Yeah.
They've already got their
right.
guy. I don't know who it is, but they've already got their guy. All right, what's next?
DC Patience, what's up, Danger? Don't be a stranger.
First of all, every time I get in my car, the first thing I do is go, just block my phone's microphone. I go, hey, Google, play Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack. That's all I do. That's the first thing I do when I get in my car. I say, blog, Google, play Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack. Boom. And What's Up, Danger? It's a great, first of all, you just listen to it once, you know it's a great tune. But when you listen to the lyrics, it's wonderful. I have a slumber party with all my foes. What's up, Danger? I only play games that I think I'll lose. What's up, Danger? It's a great song. That whole soundtrack is masterful.
Yeah, it's really good.
Great soundtrack. All right, what's next?
I love Green Book soundtrack.
Very good.
So good.
Very good.
Zach Barton, am I crazy or has the marketing for Happy Death Day 2 been more subdued than one would expect a sequel to a successful film to be? Does it continue?
Yeah,
I was more aware of the first one than I am of the sequel, and it's only 2 weeks away.
Remember, this is a Blumhouse picture. They do not put $80 million into their marketing campaigns. And Blumhouse is one of these guys. He is not going to get ahead of himself. Oh, the last one made some money. Let's spend $50 million more. That's not Jason Blum's style. And that's how he stayed successful. None of his movies have massive marketing campaigns. None of his movies will sink $80 to $100 million in marketing campaigns. And I'm not surprised they're doing it. Look, they make these movies for pocket change, and they reap a wheelbarrow, maybe not a dump truck of money, but a wheelbarrow full of money. And that's their strategy, and don't expect them to break it just because they get a little bit of success.
And it looks like that movie's great.
I can't wait.
It looks great.
Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
I was to me, it looked like another stupid throwaway, useless little horror movie that was going to be no good. I was just entertained, grinning the whole time, and I cannot wait to see the second one. Is that thunder?
It is.
You don't get a lot of thunder in LA. Big rainstorms here today, ladies and gentlemen. All right, what's next?
I'm upset. Thoughts on Spring Breakers?
I like Spring Breakers. It's not like an all-time classic, but I do love watching James Franco in it.
As Alien.
Yeah.
Franco is so my shit. I love that. I mean, he's so good in that role. That movie's fun.
Hard movie to shoot too. Can you imagine? It's just like one big crazy fever dream, and then all of those extras, and they made it pretty authentic. I don't know if half of them were in Girls Gone Wild, but
and I want to see Harmony Korine's new movie, The Beach Bum, with Matthew McConaughey.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, what's next?
KW Garrett 83. Damn it, John! I checked out Lucifer because you praised it for so long, and now I am hooked. Will take a long time to see 3 seasons. Any idea when season 4 releases?
Another follower of TV's version of Lucifer. Fabulous. No idea. Just super grateful to Netflix that they picked it back up. There actually ended up being a little bit of a bidding war to get Netflix, because I know Amazon was talking about maybe picking it up. Netflix got it. No idea. I know they're done shooting. They're done shooting season 4. No idea when it's launching, but I can't wait. All right, what's next?
So you want to be an Imagineer. Favorite line in Serenity is McConaughey musing that he's a hooker who can't afford hooks. Hooks to catch a fish, literally named Justice.
I still haven't seen it, so I can't comment on that. But
well, I've been following. McConaughey and Anne Hathaway are very angry. They feel betrayed by the distribution company. And I don't want to ruin the surprise. I haven't seen the movie, but it was spoiled for me.
Don't ruin it for people.
It's bonkers.
Yes, that's all I've heard.
What happens is it's way bonkers. I'm like, when I read the twist, I was like, no. Somebody sent it to me.
In a good way?
Look, the guy who made Peaky Blinders, the guy who made Locke, he made the movie, so I'm a huge fan of his.
Peaky Blinders.
The twist is very modern, and it's pretty interesting for our day and age. But when I read it, I'm like, why isn't any?
Let's not talk. We're gonna accidentally say something. We're gonna accidentally say something.
I'm really excited to see this movie. Actually,
yeah. Well, I still have no desire. All right, what's next?
Jonathan Taft, are you excited to see the movie Fighting with My Family? It's the most anticipated for February. And how successful do you think it will be?
I don't think it's going to be that successful because they're not really giving it a big push, and it's not going to appeal to a lot of people outside of the wrestling fans. I think it looks rather interesting. I know a little bit of Paige's backstory, and this is based on a true story of a true WWE superstar. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson stars as himself in it, playing the role. And it's got Nick Frost, and I love Nick Frost, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. I honestly don't. It's not going to be a big hit.
I like the trailers though.
I think the trailers have been really cute.
I knew nothing about it, and the trailers I'd watch that.
Yeah, I'm down. All right, what's next?
Brian Esparza, heard of Brigsby's Bear, 2017, amazing indie film.
That's the one with Mark Hamill, and it's really it's different. It's
Yeah.
it's different.
I saw it.
I don't know that I would call it amazing, but I did enjoy it for all of its kind of like its wacky taste and everything. And yeah, I dug it.
My friend Alexa Demi is in it. We did a Samsung commercial like 3 years ago together, and she busted out after that. And now she's in mid-90s, and she's kind of like A24's darling right now.
Oh,
so,
very
yeah.
cool.
That's a good place to be at.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She's really good.
All right, what's next?
Murray Wright. Tell me, do you bleed? You will. Great line by Ben Affleck.
Awesome line. There are a lot of great lines in Batman vs.
Yeah,
Superman
and
that could only be spoken like that by Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Yeah, not by me.
And if because if it was Christian Bale, it would be. And I love Christian Bale, who's a better actor and all that. But if it was Christian Bale, it would be, what? What? Anyway, but yes, I love that line. All right, what's next?
DC Patience. Fathom events, Shawshank, Field of Dreams, Alien, Godfather 2, etc. on the big screen this summer and fall. Will you go to any this year?
I will absolutely be at Shawshank, and I will most likely be at Godfather 2. Alien FC. I don't really feel like Alien is the one I gotta see on big screen, sort of kind of feel, but I don't know. These are all great. I love these events when they showcase classic films.
I mean, but I have to tell you, if you haven't seen Alien on the big screen, if you've never seen it, the end when the Nostromo is being the countdown to the destruction is happening, and there's the flashing lights, the sirens are going off in a movie theater on a big screen. The whole theater is flashing.
Right.
I mean, if you have epilepsy, it's probably not a good thing. But it's really like you really feel it. And when I first saw that movie in the theater when it came out in '79, but it was amazing. But it's always amazing to see the climax of that film on a big screen. I never get tired of it.
What's next?
I just got to give you props for knowing all film dates.
Oh, this dude knows
I mean,
film
it's
dates.
actually insane. I need you on my tribute.
I don't know as many as Scott Mance, though.
But him and our buddy Scott Mance, they like know film dates. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Spencer Main. Bury me in the ocean with my ancestors who jumped from ships because they knew that death was better than bondage.
Great closing line by Michael B. Jordan in the film, but it's also a line that kind of deceives you into thinking, "Oh, like there was a good." No, this Killmonger was an evil son of a bitch who just happened to be turned that way because of evil that was brought upon him. But that was truly a great moment that he died at the end, whose meaning of it's going to be undercut a little bit if they do indeed bring him back for Black Panther 2. I'm not going to go into all that again, but a fabulous line. But again, one that kind of distracts a little bit from he was an evil SOB.
Well, how many people did he murder? He scarred himself with how many deaths?
I think a lot of those were in war, which is one thing, but I mean
he liked killing.
He liked killing. He killed a lot of people. All right, what's next?
So you want to be an Imagineer? Thoughts on Punch Drunk Love?
Really good film. One of Adam Sandler's better. I still think Adam Sandler's greatest performance is in a movie called Reign Over Me. Which I thought he kind of deserved an Academy Award nomination for, and why I want him to give up doing these crappy comedies he does now and just get back to doing dramatic because he's so naturally gifted at it.
Yeah.
All right, what is next?
Jonathan Teff, did you see that Angelina Jolie is set to star in Taylor Sheridan's new thriller, Those Who Wish Me Dead? I loved his work on Sicario, Hell or High Water, and Wind River, so of course I'm excited.
I love this. And they also announced who the guy was going to be in it with her, and I'm drawing a blank right now off the top of my head. I love this news. Taylor Sheridan is... I will put him on the level of a Denis Villeneuve and a Christopher Nolan right now. It's one of the best filmmakers in the business today. By the way, Wind River last year tragically basically shut out of the Oscars. That movie was freaking brilliant. I love that movie. And Hell or High Water? Are you kidding me?
Oh, I love them both. You know, I watched Wind River on a plane, and I felt freezing on the plane as I was watching it. And it was not because it was cold in the plane. I mean, that film really makes you feel that environment. And
it's visceral. It's a
it
very
really
visceral
is.
film.
Really love that
It was a
movie.
brilliant film. I love and Angelina Jolie partnering up with him, I think looks and sounds great, Jonathan. I think it sounds great. All right, what's next?
I loved her in Changeling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I didn't love the movie,
Right,
but
but I
it's
loved
one of
her.
those things where I thought the performance was really sharp.
Ben Jesus says, so excited for that Hobbs and Shaw trailer dropping tomorrow. Maybe they'll show Han, Rob.
Why you got to go there, Ben?
Yeah.
Why
for
you
those
gotta
who
do
have
that?
not heard, they did announce it. It's official. It's coming out tomorrow. First trailer. I'm very excited to get a taste of the flavor of it. Want to see some Idris Elba action going on in there.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, how can you not be excited as an action movie fan for Hobbs and Shaw?
Yeah.
I mean, I can say all I want about Han, but that will not at all deter my enjoyment of seeing this film.
And a lot of things we keep forgetting and overlooking. Directed by one of the directors of John Wick.
I know.
How nutty is a Fast and the Furious movie directed by one of the directors of John Wick? All right, what's next?
Murray says, have you ever watched the NFL Honors? My fave is Seth Meyers. In 2015, my fave line was, even if you don't win tonight, you can still win the NFC South.
I honestly don't watch the NFC Honors. I'm always curious about reading about them afterwards, but like I'm a hockey guy, and I don't watch the NHL awards either. I'm just not much one for watching that stuff. I love reading about it the next day, but that's a funny line. You can still win the NFC South. I love that line. That's great. All right, what's next?
And he says this year is Steve Harvey.
Oh, that's clever. That's neat. You know what? I don't care. I like Steve Harvey as a host.
I do too.
I find him to be a really funny. Look, I don't watch Family Feud, but every once in a while, if I'm flipping through the stations and it's on, I think he's a funny guy.
I do too.
So, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway. All right. What's next?
Shannon Gates C. When do you think we'll see It Part 2 teaser?
Don't care. I love. No, I mean that's generally my stock answer about when are we going to see a trailer for whatever. I don't care. It's a piece of corporately created manipulation to get us to give them our money. And I look forward to seeing it, but I really don't care when it drops. I suspect 2 months probably, but ultimately I don't care. They'll show it when they're ready to show it.
My It Part 2 teaser is my first edition hardcover of the book that I got in 1986 that's sitting on my shelf. That's my teaser.
That's your teaser. All right, what's next?
Roman Bryan, which gave you more chills? Bring me Thanos or I beat you?
Oh, bring me Thanos. Yeah. Don't give me that line when Daredevil says to Kingpin, "They say rejected you, I beat you. I beat you." It's a great line. It's awesome. But after everything in that one movie that Thor went through, and he shows up, first of all, and by that point we've got an understanding Thanos is the baddest MF in the galaxy, right? He's just beating everybody else left, right, and center. Thor appears in Wakanda the way he appears, and calls out Thanos. Bring me Thanos. Boom. Just boom. It was awesome. You guys are screwed now. It was awesome.
Remember where we started that movie. You know, you see the Asgardians decimated. Loki's dead. Or is he? Loki's dead. Thor is basically beaten. You know, and to see it come full circle, that was one of the great moments in that movie.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't get any better than that.
Bring me Thanos. So good. All right, what's next?
Alex Perez. Oh, actually, it's gorgeous. Great addition to the show. Thank you, Alex.
Meh.
Ben.
All right.
Ben Jesus.
No. Let me.
She's more than just another pretty face.
Actually, let me interject here. You know what? Honestly, it's funny because I have a long history. I've hired a lot of people in this business and doing what I do, and you know, I can tell you this. Really beautiful people, be they men or women, in this town. I'm just saying this is a guy from the Canadian North. In this town, dime a dozen. And people who don't live in LA don't get that. It really is a dime a dozen. I can go out on the street, throw a quarter, and it's going to hit 12 beautiful people before it hits the ground.
Absolutely.
Finding really cool people who have energy and, you know, an ambition and stuff like that, that's the rare thing. And I remember when I first met with Ashley, I was so impressed with her, not just because she wore a Dunder Mifflin shirt, that may or may not have been the deciding factor, but, you know, she came in with a plan. You know, and she attacked me verbally. You should be doing this and this and this. And I'm like, holy shit, this girl has like thought about what she's doing in here. And I have loved having Ashley on her. And look, I've told everybody this. I told people this on my show. Don't expect Ashley to be around long because it's only a matter of time, be it next week or next month, before she gets some new series that she's going to be in, and she's going to be gone doing acting stuff. So just be ready. She probably won't be around here for long, but for all the right reasons. So we're just going to enjoy the time we have with Ashley here. So we love having you here, Ashley.
Thank you, John. Those words mean a lot to me. You guys have been really special to work with so far. I've learned a ton on this show. These guys are actual geniuses. So,
what side of the Honda debate are you on?
I won't let you answer that. Remember, one of the two guys at this table actually signs the paycheck. I'm just saying. Okay, what's next?
Why you got to do that to me, Rob? Ben Jesusa. So I saw on the news that some local man got arrested the other day for cosplaying Mr. Freeze and yelling out cold weather puns to people. LOL.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's probably more to the story than that. Maybe it was maybe he was doing it a little bit abusively, or disturbing by yelling out cold. Well, I mean,
God love that guy.
You don't want to do that on the East Coast right now, where there's like a real problem with the cold. Of course, I lived in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, where we had like 6 weeks every year of -40. So I'm like, that's nothing. But still, these places aren't used to that kind of cold. All right, what's next?
Roman Bryant, do you think Doc Ock would appear in Venomverse or MCU if you had to guess?
Well, I'm going to go MCU. I mean, ultimately, that will be Sony's decision to make. But if you got your live-action Peter Parker in the MCU, I have a feeling they'll shuffle Doc Ock that way if we're going to see him there
I
at all.
agree.
All right. What's next?
Jonathan Teft, what do you think of adding an Oscar category for Best Cast Ensemble? It would be nice to recognize movies that handle large casts where every member fits and works so well together, like Infinity War, Black Panther, or Game Night.
The best example of that was the Lord of the Rings films.
Right.
Which, Lord of the Rings Return of the King was nominated for 11 Oscars, won all 11 Oscars, not nominated for any Oscars because it was such an ensemble piece. That award would have been tailor-made for something like that. I think it's a great idea. And, while I go on and say, hey, I think Black Panther's great, but I didn't think it deserved a Best Picture honors, blah, blah, blah. It just won the SAG Award for Best Ensemble. And I got no problems with that. Because as an ensemble, it was a great ensemble. I am all for the creation of a Best Ensemble thing. I really, really am. Because there's something magic when you can get a collection of these people who just are able to develop a chemistry and a dynamic between the way they act with their various characters. I'm all for it. I'm totally down with it. What about you, Rob?
I completely agree. I think it'd be great.
I know some director friends that have said that they would rather win Best Ensemble than Best Director because they just feel so proud of the whole. Probably.
They're
Yeah,
lying.
they
Come
are
on.
lying. But I mean,
Come
I
on.
You know what
the
I mean.
number one job of a director
Right.
is to get the best performance possible out of your performers. So it really is. It's really a director's award too. Best ensemble really is because the actors won at the SAG, but really they should be giving a trophy to Ryan Coogler for that as well.
No, but I think you are. Not to be funny, but I think you're correct because part of perhaps the most important job of a director is casting. Once you've cast a movie properly, things will fall into place.
But I'm sure now we'll have Best Ensemble, and then we won't have people for Best Director, and we'll be like, how did that happen?
Right.
I mean,
All right. Yeah, that's true. That's a very good point. All right. What's next?
Brian Esparza, I think stunt work should be recognized at Oscars.
Nah. I've kind of gone over this before. Not because it's not. There are stunt work awards. There are. But the Oscar is not there to see what is actually being done and stuff like that. So that's totally different from all the other categories. It's just too problematic, and therefore you can't really do it with any sort of integrity. So I would say no.
Also, the category stunt work is now so intertwined with visual effects that it's hard to separate one from the other.
And again, the Academy voting members are not there on set to see what actually happens.
Right.
So it's just too problematic. All right, what's next?
I'm upset. After Upside, do you think Hart will do more dramas?
Interest. Look, I'll say this. I thought Kevin Hart showed me some things I didn't know he was capable of. I still don't think he was great. His bread and butter is in comedy. I'd be curious to see him try more dramas. Yeah, I would give him another shot for sure. All right, what's next?
Juan M. Happy Friday Eve, team. Deer Hunter is one of my favorite movies, beautifully cast, and probably the best climactic scene in cinema history. A movie about friends, loss, and suffering. Do you guys agree?
I'm not going to call it one of the best films in cinematic history, although it's classic and it's great and it's awesome. And even if you think you've never seen Deer Hunter, there are lines you probably know that you just never knew came from Deer Hunter, and there are things that are done there. I don't know. Your thoughts
it's funny. I love the Deer Hunter. I just recently picked up. It was released only in the UK, but Canal Plus put out a beautiful 4-disc 4K version of it's got a Blu-ray version, but it's got a new 4K transfer, the soundtrack and the documentaries. It's a gorgeous package, and I highly recommend. If you haven't seen Deer Hunter, by the way, it's a harrowing film.
It's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
watch Deer Hunter.
It's really
one of
good.
those films that if you're a big film fan, you want that one in your repertoire. All right, what's next?
Roman Bryant, Spider-Man Home Alone should be the third movie. Spider-Man has to defend the Avengers facility from the Sinister Six with web-based traps and fight them all by one.
I'm going to tell you what, Roman, I know you're joking, but sign me up. Sign me up. The Avengers are off on New Asgard because Asgard's probably coming back at the end of Avengers Endgame too, so why not? So the Avengers all have to go to Asgard, and they leave Spider-Man for a quiet weekend, but just somebody to keep an eye on the place, and all of a sudden Loki shows up, and a MCU version of a Sinister Six, if you will, show up, and they want to break in there and steal all the Avengers' secrets. It's up to Spider-Man, Home Alone. I'm totally down. I kid you not. I'm going to email Kevin Feige. I do not have his personal email address. I'm going to email Kevin Feige, and I'm going to say, Kevin, you got to make this movie. And he'll say, John, tell me more. And I'll say, well, Roman Brian had this idea, and it's fabulous. I'm telling you what, I'm not kidding. I would love to see this. This would be great.
I would watch that movie.
I would I'd watch the hell out of that movie.
Why not?
Are you kidding me? Why not? Indeed.
Of course, then Roman would come after you and sue you because when the Marvel Cinematic Universe came, it made $1 billion at the box office. He would claim it was his idea. And
I'll
he'd
say
be
I
right.
never heard of him.
Yeah.
I'll delete the super chat off the board once we're done. All right, see, I'm not so dumb.
Whole
All right,
plan.
what's next?
Jonathan Taft. Like you, I've enjoyed all of the DCEU so far, probably more than most. I really like the fun tone of Aquaman, but hope we can still have powerful scenes like the destruction of Metropolis in BVS.
Here's the really good thing about this is the good filmmakers will know how to balance those things out so they actually increase the effect of their polar opposites. The humor in Black Klansman makes the powerful scenes seem all the more powerful because you're creating a juxtaposition within the film and the dynamic. Having something like Aquaman, I'll tell you what, one of my favorite scenes of the movie honestly is when he's kneeling before the sea monster and, Julie Andrews, as it turns out.
Unbelievable.
When he's kneeling before Julie Andrews and he says, I'm here because I have to be. It's for my home. Like that little speech he gives to me is one of the most moving parts of the movie for me. And it's because there's so much other humor that when those scenes hit, it's possible. I think if DC can strike that balance and strike it well, like Marvel has a lot of levity, which makes the hard parts even more impactful. I think if DC can strike that tone, it'd be a really good balance. Do you think they can pull that off?
Yeah, I do. I mean, absolutely. And why not? Like you said, just think about your own life. Sometimes there's really sad, emotional things that happen to you, and other times, you're getting drunk with your friends at a bar. I mean, people have those moments in their lives, so you can play that in films. You can have really serious films and then lighten it up a bit.
All right, what's next?
Mark C. If you aren't feeling what Vanilla Ice is giving and still need a bad movie to love, try Brain Smasher, a love story starring Andrew Dice Clay and Terry Hatcher. Also, you still need to watch Super Fuzz with Terrence Hill.
I'll be honest, I've never even heard of Brain Smasher Love Story. But Andrew Dice Clay, who is in one of the most popular films of the year this year, Stars Born, and Terry Hatcher, what? Where's she been? But again, Chris, I got to tell you, or Mark, everybody out there, get some buddies together, have a couple of adult beverages, and watch Cool as Ice starring Vanilla Ice. It will be the most fun night of your week. I'm telling you right now, it will be the most fun thing you do this week. The most fun. All right, what's next?
Jonathan Taft. Hope you don't mind me asking so many questions today.
Not at all.
Not at all. Thursdays are the only day I'm able to watch the show. Love your show and keep being awesome.
Oh, Jonathan, thank you for being here and supporting the show and being a part of it and sending some really fun stuff to talk about. Send in 1 million of them if you want. No, really, send in 1 million. That would be great. All right, what's next?
Curtis Lopez, win a goldfish here.
Okay. Next.
Yeah, I don't know. TNS93. I've always thought a Batman detective movie is 100% possible, but there's a marketing problem selling the villain without spoiling the movie.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if he's searching for the who done it, and you can't reveal the villain because it's a
but not
story.
necessarily. You can do mystery movies. Like I've seen various mysteries set up, and I've read certain mystery books that are set up where you got your antagonist, you got your protagonist. The antagonist knows that I should say the protagonist knows who the antagonist is and what they did.
Mm-hmm. But
how do I prove they did it and how did they do it becomes the mystery of the story. You can have a story, and I'm just speaking facetiously here a bit, but you can have a story where, Batman knows the Joker did something, but how can I prove it? And how did he do it? And how did he? These are the threads. So you can do that, and I think there's a way. I do think there's a way you can do that. All right, what's next?
Matt Ford 53. Are we ever going to see this current war get released? Looks really interesting.
God, that is a movie. They've been advertising that for 43 years. I feel like it was many moons ago that this trailer with Michael Shannon and all these guys comes out. The current wars looks incredible. All this kind of stuff delayed. I honestly, as of right now, Robert, I have no idea where this movie is.
Yeah,
for all I know, it's got a release date, and I just don't know about it. If it's going to go straight to video, if it's going to go dumped on Netflix, I have no idea what's going on. But I know they were promoting this film like a major release, and poof, it just disappeared.
I know.
Like, was it one of the victims of the Thanos snap, or like,
I don't know where it went. That there's another movie I really want to see called Captive State. That's a science fiction movie about like aliens coming. They take over the world. They administer like John Goodman's in it. I don't know when that's coming out, but I want to see that too.
All right, let's do a couple more. What's next?
Javier Reyes, 405. Thoughts on Wind River?
If only we already talked about that. Yeah, so clearly we've already shared. Great film. Love that movie.
Continues my affection for Elizabeth Olsen.
All right, what's next?
Mr. Hank Dunn. Why hasn't there been a new Jump Street film yet? They both did great critically and financially.
Channing Tatum's been busy. Jonah Hill's been busy.
His first movie.
Do they really think they've got anywhere left to go with it? I mean, there are a million different things. The bigger question would be, why would they have done one by now? I mean, so they have other things. They have other things they're doing in their career. I mean, apparently Channing Tatum's still trying to get a Gambit movie made, but I mean, Jonah Hill's been directing, and it's like,
look at how long it took Bad Boys for Life, the third Bad Boys movie, to get off the ground. So
all right, what's next?
Time.
James Argenta. Disney just announced on D23 Twitter that we are getting Toy Story 4 trailer after the game.
Woo! A real one, not just a. That's great. And by the way, after the game. Yeah, I mentioned the other day, somebody asked me, we're going to get an Endgame trailer during the Super Bowl. I have a feeling Disney's going to maybe drop their trailers around the Super Bowl and not during the Super Bowl podcast. And if they did just announce this, that it's going to come after the game, I also think around that time we're going to get an Endgame trailer, another Endgame. I know it hasn't been that long since the last one, but I think we're going to get another one around that time. All right, what's next?
Javier, again, the end credits of 22 Jump Street are hilarious.
They are fabulous. Go from 23 Jump Street, 24 Jump Street, like one's they're in an art school, one they're in space, one they're in a dance academy. They are wonderful. It's great. The series is fabulous. I love the 21 Jump Street films. Really, really do. All right, what's next?
Mr. Hank Dunn, Blu-ray and 4K is better than digital.
Yes, it is.
Sure, and then you can lose it, scratch it, dig around for it, pay more for it, never know where it is, don't have it accessible
or
to you
you
all
could
the
have
time.
all your movies on Ultraviolet, which goes away on July 31st.
Yes.
Bye-bye, Ultraviolet.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
for those who didn't hear, Ultraviolet's closing itself down. I mean, I was never a member of Ultraviolet. I don't know anybody that is, but I'm going to assume there's going to be some way you can get possession of the films you own.
That's what they're telling you.
But why would anybody have ever been a member of Ultraviolet? I mean, I don't get that.
What is Ultraviolet? I don't even know.
It's like an online, you can buy movies and have like movies digitally in storage and stuff like that.
It's a digital ecosystem, they
like
call it.
Today, that's why I get things that are never going away. Amazon Prime, Google Play Store, things like that.
Like my Blu-ray and 4K collection. It's never going away.
And they sit on your shelves and take up space.
Moving
Anyway,
on.
what's
All
next?
right, Chris Warden, no matter how you look at it, WB's handling the whole Affleck Batman situation has been bad. 2 years ago, you hit the panic button, John, and now it comes out.
Yeah, but you know what? Have they really handled it badly? Have they handled it the way they should have handled it? No. But have they handled it kind of brilliantly? You can make a strong argument they've actually handled it brilliantly. Deny, 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 which is what I said even they should do in the beginning, is just deny it, because you had Justice League coming out. You can't acknowledge all that kind of stuff when Justice League was still coming out. And then they decided, let's just never acknowledge it until it becomes myth and common knowledge. And then when we do let it be officially known, it'll be wrapped up with other information and it'll be in the news cycle for 24 hours. Because had they announced it back at that infamous Comic-Con, had they announced it after that, it would have been the story for 3 weeks to a month.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, yeah, well, we all already knew Ben Affleck wasn't Batman anymore, and we move on.
And
so there's a little bit of genius there.
There's a release date. The real news is dropped.
Yep.
They hired Matt Reeves. That's what they wanted you to know. They've now dated the movie. The next big announcement will be who's going to play Batman.
Yep. And no one's going to be. I'll tell you what. No one, including anybody here, we're not going to be talking about Ben Affleck anymore tomorrow. And that's exactly the way they wanted it done. And so do we like the way they've handled it? Maybe not. But there's some genius there. There's some absolute genius there. Work the way they navigated this. All right, 2 more questions and we'll call it a day.
Is there a possibility of Catwoman being in the new Batman?
Oh, I don't see why not. I mean, you're kind of revisiting it, so I mean, it's a possibility. Everybody loves Catwoman.
She's a great character.
Margot Robbie's Catwoman? No, she's already Harley Quinn.
I mean, I loved Anne Hathaway as Catwoman.
Dude, I said going into that movie, that is my biggest question mark. Anne Hathaway is Catwoman. I know that and I like Anne Hathaway. And then I came out Dark Knight Rises. Anne Hathaway was the best part of this movie.
I mean, that line,
she
there's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. I love that.
She's marvelous.
I love her.
I love her. Absolutely love her. All right, what's next?
Kara Black, John, today, January 31st, is the 2-year anniversary of when you were the first one to tell us that Affleck was out as Batman. Wow.
I would love to say that's true, but I actually think it was a couple of days into February. It's basically been 2 years, but I think I could be wrong, but I think it was actually in early February 2017 when I said, and by the way, I wasn't right because for me to be right implies that I predicted it. I didn't predict it. I was told by somebody who would know.
Right.
That's all it was. I didn't predict. Now, I predicted that Ben Affleck would be cast as Batman. I predicted that 3 weeks before they announced his thing. So that I predicted. I was right about that. I wasn't right about him being out as Batman because I didn't predict it. I was actually told that by somebody who I ironclad knew was the person who would know. I was told by that person, so I knew that that was the case. So I didn't predict it, so I can't take credit for that. But yeah, it's been almost 2 years, and now it's finally officially out. It's kind of crazy. All right, what's next?
Spencer Main, I don't think the fake deaths will make A4 worse. The story will be all about the original 6 Avengers and the sacrifices needed to save the universe.
Yes and no. I mean, I don't think it's going to make the movie any worse. I think the Avengers 4 is going to be Avengers 4. And, you know, again, any deaths will lack any emotional impact because we know it's probably not forever or true, even if it is Iron Man or even if it is Chris Evans or even if it is Chris Hemsworth. I mean, whatever. But no, Avengers 4 is going to be all kinds of awesome. I cannot wait.
Me neither.
I know you're particularly excited about this movie.
I can't tell you how excited I am about this movie. I'm so excited.
All right, last question of the day.
Matt Ford 53, John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, Emily Blunt as Invisible Woman, Zac Efron as Human Torch, Will Poulter as The Thing. Make it happen, Marvel.
Sure. I mean, you know me. Any actor in X role that's a good actor, sure. These are all terrific performers. I'd be down for it.
That's actually a great cast list. I really like that idea. Kudos to you.
All right, guys, that will do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for coming by and being a part of us and hanging out with us for today. Don't forget, we do this show every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. in the morning. We hope you will come back and join us again. For all you guys from, where are we at? Kenny Kearns, Litislav, Watcher X, Devontae, ZMG Ruler, all the way down. Do not worry. I am going to be copying, pasting, and getting this. I was supposed to do a companion video last night, but I forgot I also had Heroes, the weekly hero that we had to do last night, right? We had to talk about our weekly superhero fix. So that was out of the way. So I will have a new companion video up tonight, and all your questions that you guys had here will be answered in that video later tonight. Keep your eyes open for that. I want to thank the people sitting here with me, of course, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at BurnettRM. Find me on Instagram at RMBurnett. Find me on my YouTube channel, The Burnett Work. Subscribe, or my website, TheBurnettWork.net. One word, The Burnett Work.
Sitting over there, the coffee loving Ashley Whalen.
Yes.
Ashley, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter, AshAttack1, or on Instagram at Ashley Whalen. That is Ashley with 2 Y's.
And, of course, you guys can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter simply at John Campea. Special thanks to fact-checker Jonathan, to Ray Ora over there, and most of all to you guys for making this show even possible. Thanks for being in a film fan community with us. That'll do it for us, guys. My name's John Campea, and until the next video, bye-bye.